shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
I don't have friends. I got family.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. It was small, turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone.
I've missed you guys. It's so good to be back. Welcome everybody that's piling in. I haven't got friends. I got family. And it's so true. It's crap. Monday's buzzer announcement was not what we wanted to hear. But we're back. We're back with all of you. And I say we. Hello, mate.
Hello.
You got the special glass as well, mate?
Special glass, yeah. I had special shoes when I was a kid, and I've got special glass.
Well, yeah, you are special, mate. You are. But you're special to all of us, mate. Dilly.
Oh, bless you.
Dilly to absolutely everybody, and they're all piling in. That's what it's good to see. Chris Pearson, what, dilly, everyone. Paul Wiltshire, hi Ray. He's always chatting to someone else on there. Chris Mason, good evening all. Hope you are all well. And of course, that's not just our Chris Masons, but now the paramedics Chris Mason.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend. Incidentally, by the way, there is, we're completely aware at 8 o'clock tonight, there is a clap for the heroes because it's broad and there's many more people that are going to be on the receiving end of that one. At 8 o'clock, we'll kind of do a pause. We'll probably do an applause here for those of you who want to step out for a couple of minutes and do that. It's fine. We'll kind of do that bit. And then if the show's still going, it will carry on after that. So we'll completely respect that one. Fully deserved. Nigel Forrest from up at Alton Parkway. Evening all. I don't know why I use that accent. That's not relevant to Alton Park at all, is it? I don't know. TSW dude, hello mate, from YouTube there watching as well. Good to be back. One of our Quarry Hardcore Goose. Happy New Year, Coombies. Absolutely, I love that one. Peggy Spackman, Happy New Year. Hope you're both well and staying safe. I'm staying safe, mate. I'm keeping myself pickled just to make sure it can't. It's got to be done, hasn't it? The current Mrs. Dawes is on standby, ready for when necessary. And talking about the current Mrs. Dawes, I can say this because it was on. You made it public. Congratulations on your news, Mr. Davis. That there's a Diddy Davis on the way. Another
another Diddy Davis. So I've already got a daughter, but we don't know what it's going to be yet. Got a scan in a few weeks, but yeah, we're another little Davis to the clan in June.
I mean, I'm a mixture of delighted for you and terrified. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be honest. I mean, Richard Beard said the same. He said, "Oh, you know about kids, and you got to remember how difficult it is." And I said, "Hang on, Richard." I said, "I've fed and watered you at Autosport for a week." I said, and to be honest, it's not a huge amount of difference with the crying, the whinging, the I'm hungry, the tears, and the often we're not sure if he's going to make it to the toilet. So To be honest, you know, I'm pretty well gelled up with it all. So yeah.
I'm watching him down in my green room, shaking his head, waving his finger at you, and then bowing his head when you talked about the toilet a bit.
Yeah, why does he need to go?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll have Beardy on in a little bit. It's good to see him back as well. Steve Weston will hopefully be joining in within the next 5-10 minutes down in the green room. Tom Davies says hello. That's with an E, so it's not R Davis. Mike Cotton, hello, mate. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's hope that it is. Agreed. We were almost going to do a skit, weren't we, if we could work it out, that you were going to be 2020 and you were going to go, you know, welcome in 2021. Yeah. And you can't do any worse than I can. And after last night's news, I was going to go, I'm 2021. Hold my beer.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think just got to be hopeful, haven't we? We cross our fingers. You know, who knows, Chris? Who knows?
Listen, we got to roll with it, haven't we? We got to roll with it, and that's why we fired this back up for everybody. Is us included? I think is fair to say as well. Is that let's have a giggle, let's have some fun. We got plenty of stuff to update you. We got plenty of shows that are going to be scheduled, and we'll go into that very shortly. And you know, we're going to start with Beardy and Steve Weston to sort of give us an idea of those side of things. I say in the preamble for this show that, you know, don't expect all the answers. Far from it. We don't have them, and the Inner Sanctum don't have them at the moment, because it's just
no, it's more. It was more of to touch base with everybody, really, wasn't it? Like I said, I think, you know, just to see how people are. I know, you know, some people communicate with each other, you know, via Facebook or whatever, but a lot of people don't. You know, they don't until, I think this is given, as we found out, this is giving people a reason to talk to each other and have a chat and a laugh. And we have put all the dates out today for the race meetings, for the car race meetings.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a bit there to look forward to. And I think, that's, you know, and Steve and Richard can update where they are with things. And I think, you know, we're just, like I said, the whole point was, like you said, just to have a bit of a laugh and say to everyone, we're all here. And again, I think, you know, if there's things that we can help with, any of us can help with offline, then, you know, don't hesitate in contacting Chris, me, or anyone else from the racing club as well. Because I think, like I said, don't sit there on your own struggling. Basically, I think is the key as well for this.
It is. You know, we I know you and I support each other in everything. Tom, is that when we sort of hit those tricky times and it gets a little bit too much, this is to hopefully bring people together. But absolutely, I know the phrase that the post that keeps going around is "my inbox is always open," and you know, it sounds a bit throwaway, but I'd say it's true. It's genuine. It really is. It's difficult. It's easy to put 2 and 2 together and come up with either 100 or 0.
Yeah,
and we need to make sure that we get as near to 4 as possible together.
Without a doubt.
And it is. Incidentally, I will say this right now, is that the announcement from the Castle Combe Racing Club is that they've had to do it now. They've resisted. I know Ken spoke to me on the phone earlier as well. They've resisted for as long as they possibly could, but they are furloughing staff this time round. As you can understand, is that January, February, March is the quiet times, especially when, you know, we haven't got auto sport or anything like that. What that means is that the office won't be as manned as you're possibly used to it, and you may be doing things like renewing your memberships. Panic not. Everything will get sorted. Everything will get sorted in time. Things might take a little bit longer. It might seem quiet. Nobody's been got rid of. They're just furloughed at the moment. Need to take advantage of the support that's there. That, you know, is no point resisting it anymore. It's got to be done. But it's all good news. There's nothing negative about it, but just need your patient understanding. Don't think the worst. Everything will get sorted in plenty of time before Howard's Day on Easter Monday. You know, let's keep everything crossed. That's the plan. And Tom, is that all details will be, you know, kept up to date on social media.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's the circuit's the same. You know, we've got a support role in every day. So the phones will be staffed. So if you're between 9 and 5:30 every day. So people who need to get in contact, and please ring the office or email. But yeah, I think, you know, it's important at the moment that everyone out there just bears with everybody, really, and that's the message we keep putting out. You know, we'll do what we can, and people will get back to you, but appreciate we're all in the same boat. So if something's burning, I'm sure Stephen, Rich will touch upon that as well. If there is a major question or issue, you know, those guys are volunteers, and they're happy to pick up the phone and talk to anyone. So, you know, please, we'll touch upon that when they come on. But don't panic. Like Chris said, don't panic. All will be fine. It's just like you said, we need to do everything we can to make sure that both businesses can survive when things open up again.
Exactly, and message emails or whatever will be diverted. Steve Weston, Ken Davis, certainly in this correspondence I've got, is that they're without question available. Everybody's here, but it's probably more a case of either it might not be the person you expect that replies, and it might not be as quick as you expect, and you've got used to with the slickness of the operation. But it will be sorted, and also things like memberships will all be sorted in time for first race meets, all of that kind of thing. So panic not. It will be okay, just a little different at the moment. Nick Workman, good evening all from the Black Country. Hello, mate. Our very own Emma Strawford, good evening, guys and gals. Evening, Emma. Oh, I've just gone down a big old list there because it's all still firing in. Paul Wiltshire says, first time I've looked forward to an injection. I'm glad you called it an injection because there's another word you could have used that would have made it funnier, but not appropriate for the show. But, well done. And Chris Mason says, oh, yes, forgot. Happy New Year to one and all. We'll forgive you, mate. You're flat out. We know it. Lynn Bates, good evening, everyone. I think from memory, that's another one of the Mighty Orange Army as well. Paul Wiltshire, dilly. Yep, thank you, Beardy. I saw the nod there. Thanks, mate. I thought I remembered that right. TSW dude says, love to see you both again. Stop flirting, TSW dude. He's all up in your grill, Davis. He's
can't blame him. He's only human.
Emma says, new shirt, Tom.
No, this is I've been at home all day, so I'm just rocking the salmon at home.
Yeah, it was pink, mate. Chris Mason also says, Joshy says, evening, Dawesy and Tom. Hello, Joshy. Hello, mate. Good to hear that you're there. Chris Ignall says, evening, everyone, and happy New Year. Evening, mate. Good to see you here. Jeff Gendall, or should we say Alfie Gendall's dad. Happy New Year, everyone. Dilly. Chris Pearson, says, great to see you guys, Dawesy and Tom, in the house. We are, mate. We are. Oh, look at that. Our very own Rob Jones, our two-wheeled maestro. Happy New Year, chaps. Happy New Year, mate. I think we might have to sort something out that gets you back on again for a gig.
Well, we got two bike race meetings this year. So we've got the classic, which we'll launch probably next week now. But so we've got the classic CRMC, Classic Race Motorcycle Club. And they're coming in April. And which should be great. So they've not been for 2 years. So I think we'll probably try and get someone on from them and to tell us about the classics and what to expect.
Of course, he's one of my brethren now. He became a commentator in the bike meet last year.
And I think he's pretty classic himself. So to talk about classic bike racing, you love it, Rob.
Yeah, I'll hold him. You hit him, Rob. It's fine. Don't panic. But we also got to get him on. There's talk about doing one of those great after-hour shows.
Oh God.
I'm sure. I think we can put a limit on Facebook or whatever where it's over 18s only. So I think there's talk about doing. I think we've been sort of taking a run up to work out how brave we are.
To be honest, I watched back some of the awards night, and it's like slowly watching myself get more and more drunk. And I love you, yes, I love you all. It was all to start with, and then I hadn't realised. It wasn't until I think we finished, and the minute said, "You do know you drank 2 bottles of prosecco and half a bottle of gin." I was like, ooh.
I tell you what, I went downstairs after that with the adrenaline of hoping it was going to work and everything. I went downstairs and my wife was downstairs doing a Zoom chat with some of our friends and what have you, sort of doing a catch up. And I kind of was supposed to join in, but I couldn't say anything more. And I actually felt ill with the adrenaline coming back out of my body, and it was just incredible. I mean, thank God it worked. I'm so thankful that it worked.
Absolutely. No, it was bonkers. It was great. It was just so much fun, really, to see everyone. And I think, the effort everybody put in, the people that filmed in advance, was great. But on the night, and everyone got in the spirit of it, and everyone had their own stories. And like I said, there was, it was what we could do, wasn't it? It was just. I just watched it back the other day, bits of it, and I thought, oh my good God! And I didn't realize at the time when you were watching, the effort that people actually did put in, because like I said, I was getting more and more drunk, and people were putting, they're dressing up and just getting in the spirit of the comments and everything. It was just great to see. So, and I missed so much.
Fireplace going as well. It was like cracking.
I missed so much as well. That was the other thing. It wasn't until you watch bits back and you're like, oh bloody hell! So,
I loved it as well. I watched back the saloons part of it, and Chris Ignore just put his message up there, and understandably he did a big sort of lovely sort of message to everyone with so many people to thank with him, sort of bowing out from a full-time effort, and then when we came back and I was there sort of going. It was so funny, and he took it brilliantly well, and I thank him for that because it was supposed to be funny and it worked. Darren Duffield, one of our hot hatch drivers. Happy New Year, gents. Happy New Year, mate. Pippa Gore, that not just one of our Orange Army. She's been doing loads of Orange Army stuff all around the country. She's my dancing Orange Army. She's my dancing marshal. The amount of times I'm up in the commentary box, look down to the pit lane, and she waves up and then she does a little jig for me. She's a legend, Pippa. She's doing so much work. She's found a new lease of life with this. She's absolutely loving it, and it's lovely to see. Lewis Bird Motorsport. Hi, guys. Glad Combe TV is back. And I know that you are, Lewis, because you and I had a catch up the other day, boss, sort of doing some sim racing together. And I know that you're looking forward to this and interested to see what Lewis might be coming to race at some point soon. So good to see that he's going to be back. Chris Mason said we had the clap already.
Move on.
Even I wouldn't crack that joke. Even you wouldn't crack that joke, Dom, would you?
The tumbleweed moment.
Although this, and he's saying clapping for heroes already. I hope that doesn't mean that actually it was at 7, not 8. I was told it was 8.
Yeah.
Everyone said it was 8, so don't blame me if we're wrong. Gerald Howe, Happy New Year and dilly dilly all. Ali Powell says, hi guys, enjoy thy gin, chin chin. Crikey, I'm glad you'd sent that one at the beginning. I'd have struggled to complete that sentence later on. Alan Cooper, Happy New Year, everyone. Martin Bennett, another one of our two-wheel commentators, even in the Jim Brothers. That's what I like to see. Matt Coyle, the Saloon Car Championship coordinator. Good evening to the family. Family Combe, of course. Hi from the US. Hi, Joyce. I'm going to resist any kind of comment. I'm not going to say a word, but welcome to Combe TV. We'll keep ours nice and clean and politically sensitive. Enjoy. Pete Spiller says, evening, guys, from Spiller Towers. Crikey. It's getting bigger, your place, by the sounds of that, Pete. Baldrick says, happy Ginuary, guys. It is definitely Ginuary. Happy New Year. Hope to marshal a few more meetings at Combe this year. Good man, Tom. We'll look forward to seeing that. Can get more channels on the TV. I assume that he's bragging. He's just bragging, isn't he? Gratz Tom says Pippa for Diddy Davis coming along, as does Emma Strawford. Many congratulations. Yeah. Hey, Tim Perry, dilly dilly, evening all. Happy New Year to you all. Here's to 2021. And again, all the comments coming in. Oh, it's all about you, Davis.
Well, they're as surprised as I am.
Oh, no. Chris Mason says, my first paramedic shift lasted 2 hours before I did my back in. By the way, I know Beardy and Steve Weston are in the back there. We'll be with you in a minute, guys. But, there's a lot of comments coming in. And I need to quickly do this. TSW Boss, LOLO, 2 accounts. Love the shows. Don't know what to say to that, really. Ben Indle, hi, Dawesy and Tom, and everyone. Happy New Year. Lynn Bates, Happy New Year to all the Orange Army. Russell Pointer Brown. We're going to have Russell Pointer Brown coming on a show at some point. We're going to be doing some shows that are designed to be informative and educational and helpful for certainly the drivers is the one thing we're thinking of as the year goes through. And there's something that we've been working on with Russell and a few others. And let's just say there's like F1 links and all sorts of things that could be very interesting to provide services and support for the drivers. But we'll keep you up to date about that in due course. But interesting stuff, that, Tom. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep, better than listening to us.
Yeah, absolutely, without question. Christopher Britton, Happy New Year. Hope we can go racing in April. Me too, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I'm virtually booked up for the year commentary, and I'm covering British GT and GT World Challenge and things like that this year as well. Doing all bar the Autumn Classic and one other race meet this year at Combe, and that's because I'm already booked up elsewhere. But the rest of them, I'm doing it, and I can't wait. I'm so chuffed. I'm in the main box for all the events. Yeah, I cannot wait. So excited. So We do hope we can go for it.
Have become best friends with a group of otters that
Tell Alexa to keep the noise down there, eh? No one invited her on the show.
Alexa, stop.
Hey,
I've no idea. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It must have been something I said. Alexa, play Wham.
Yeah. Well, she knows that. She'll do that anyway.
Oh, I forgot I got one in here, actually. It has gone terribly wrong. Alexa, shush. What's the poster behind you? I'm assuming that's you. It's not a poster, is it? It's...
Oh, that's my ex-wife. Actually, it's better looking than a. Shouldn't say that. It's just a big cow, big horn, isn't it?
Keep digging, mate. Keep digging.
Right, I don't think she watches this.
Ray throwing up Ferguson. Hello, mate. Happy New Year, everybody. Great to see you back. Ray Fergie, 27. No, that's not his age, before anybody wonders, by the way. He's the legend that is. Yeah, you go. Loving the cow behind you. See, they are. They're enjoying it. Scott Thompson says, Happy New Year, gents. Great to have you back. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Happy New Year from Saloon Car Champ Mark Sutton. I hope you're going to come and defend it, mate. Nathan Ward, Class B Formula 4 champion. Happy 2021, gents. Let's see what he's going to do this year. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, of course. Pippa Gore says, don't forget Speed Queen. She got power crazy because she got put on the speed gun in the Donington Park pit lane. She got power crazy on that one, I tell you. There you go. Hence she says, well, speed gun queen. They're all laughing at you know who getting involved. Won't say her name. And Chris Freer says, hi, everyone. Well, I've driven home for Christmas. And it looks like I'll be here for a while. He couldn't resist it, could he? Cheers, Dawesy. My you-know-who just started gibbering on. We got them all working. Absolutely love it. Right, that now means we've got to the end of the messages they stand, and welcome everybody. I think our idea is out the window now, isn't it? That we were going to attempt to do a bit of a giggle with something that was a dad jokes can't laugh thing, where we crack the jokes and you're not allowed, and the other person's not allowed to laugh. We might do that at another time for a bit of a giggle and possibly even get guests involved in that at some point. Andrew Bisping, by the way, says, good to see you demolishing your New Year's resolution so soon, Tom.
Well, it could be anything. Not shaving, not washing. Who knows? That could be.
It's all of them. They're out, aren't they? Jared says, my you-know-who has started playing WAB Tropicana. That is brilliant. That's the new thing. We can set off everybody's...
that's it. That's Gerald's excuse.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
No, you are Mr. Dilly. Absolutely. Right. They're sat patiently. Well, Beardy's not looking quite so patient anymore, actually, but he's in the background. We're going to bring them both in. Let's bring Richard Beard and Steve Weston.
Hey.
Evening, gents.
Good evening, gents.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
How the devil are you both?
Oh, living the dream.
It's the way he tells them, isn't it?
Yeah. Where is this dream? Is it nearby?
Yeah, it's at home.
You're not allowed to go out.
Yeah. My dreams aren't very good. What can I say?
I'm not even going to go into mine for whatever reason. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, not allowed, mate. Not allowed.
Over 18.
For the 9 o'clock watershed. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Cheers, gents.
Evening, Mr. Weston. There we go. Rob Jones says, evening, Mr. Weston. I have some new jokes for you on the bike days in 2021.
Great. Let's hope they're as good as the ones in 2020.
You said no one ever.
Emma says, evening, Stephen Rich. Evening, gents. Evening, both. Evening, Mr. Beard and Mr. See, Tim's getting polite.
Very formal.
We like him. He's very professional.
Yeah, we don't bother with the polite, do we? Dawesy is king of the dad jokes, Matt Parr says. Love. You've seen plenty of the love jokes at Christmas. And TSW boss says, Dawesy, that poster behind you, if you mean that, that's actually a pop-up ban of my training company, Open Doors Training. Get the ad in. Well, if you mean those, they're actually prints of Prague, where my wife and I first went away together.
Oh, bless.
Right, let's start. Steve Weston, I'm going to start with you, my friend. Is that we today, now where did I put it? I've got the dates have been released, really exciting stuff. We've got 5th of April, Howard's Day, 3rd of May, May Day Madness, 31st of May, Combe Challenge, 12th and 13th, the big race weekend, 3rd and 4th July, something a little bit new, Classic and Race Retro weekend, 30th of August, Combe Countdown, Grand Finals race meeting on the 18th of September, and then the 2nd of October is the Autumn Classic. Yes. Bumpy year, dates in. How is it going in terms of content, mate?
They're all full. All the days are full. And we have planned sort of the same as 2020, really, to allow a little bit of time in between and stuff. But hopefully we can get some more races in on each of the days. The 1st of April, we're all planning to have a day as best we can. And that will be the HRDC, which was unfortunately cancelled because of the weather and not COVID last year at the Autumn Classic. So they've moved all 3 races over to Easter. So it's almost like having half an Autumn Classic at April, really. So a really good start to the year with HRDC. Always bring big grids and great cars, a lot of classic stuff. So that will be a good start to the year. And then the 2 May days are, club stuff. So 750 are coming with 2 races on, or 4 races on the first weekend, first bank holiday in May. And then at the end of May, we've got the MG Owners Club, Sprites and Midgets, and also what is now TCT and TCR, which is trying to sort of reinvent itself, I think, with the addition of the Volkswagen Cup. So they'll all be running at the same time. So hopefully we should have a fairly big grid of decent cars. I know the last time they came, we were slightly disappointed in the numbers, but having amalgamated the TCR and TCT, they've also added the Volkswagen Cup. So they would believe, you probably know more than me, Chris, but I think they were running 15, 20 cars last year. So with that and TCR, TCT, it should be a really good grid of fairly decent cars.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the kind of thing that we all know that we all love watching go around Combe. It's going to be good, and Stuart Lines, that many people will know from involvement in touring cars, is that he's been. It's not just the addition of the VW Cup is new this year, but he's been sort of working on the TCR, then the TCR and TCT, and then the amalgamation, and he's stuck with this for it's got to be a couple of years now that he's been at.
He was racing, wasn't he, when they came?
Yeah.
3 years ago, Tom? 2 years ago? 3 years?
It would have been 3 years ago,
yeah. So, I mean, he's stuck with it and he's tried to build it around as being a sort of, touring car type of thing, with getting different things in and trying different things. And hopefully with the addition of the Volkswagen Cup, it will be a good grid. And like you say, the TCR and TCT were starting to build at the end of last year. And obviously they had the same problems we did with COVID and trying to get things sorted and stuff like that. So hopefully, that'll be a good grid. And then moving on to June is when MSVR coming down. So again, you probably know more than I do with the content of that. But they've upped their game with is there a new Formula 3 Cup that they're doing or something along the Formula 3 lines? Hopefully that'll be...
The F3 Cup's been going for a while, and it's something I've covered a lot of, and it is awesome. It's watching it's one of those ones that you love, that these things, instead of being gathering dust somewhere, it actually gives them somewhere to race, and you get some pretty decent talent out there in the cars we've all loved. We remember that, in fact, some of these cars may have actually raced at Castle Combe when F3 was here with British GT.
Yeah. So they're bringing that and monopostos and a new thing called a Curie Classic Racing, which again is a pre-66 thing, I believe, which is starting to build. There's a lot of classic stuff around, seems to be, and they do like coming to Combe. So with that, our championships, MSV Track Day Trophy and Championship.
Those, and I tell you what, they, as a title, I know we've had a discussion, as a title, it doesn't sound glamorous. I've commentated on the MSVT Track Day Trophy and Championships. They are amazing. You know, the quality of cars that are brought to this thing. You know, it started as the Track Day Trophy that was to take people from track day involvement to actual racing. And then it became a championship because they were loving it even more. And so now the two coexist, and it's always bumper grids and just amazing racing. So that's going to be amazing. And I think one of the other ones that's on the list, I believe, is the Focus Cup.
Yeah, which I understand is 20 focuses that they bring and 18 run or something like that. So there's 2 spare cars. If anybody has an issue, they just swap the car. Is that how it works?
And I mean, it used to be that you'd enter the season and they'd pick a lot out which car you had, because these cars have all got the liveries on. It's one of those interesting ones. It's not about you going and getting sponsorship. They're kind of liveried up already, and bought on one of the multi-car haulers that brings all of them in. You get there, you go and race. But now that you actually pick which car you've got from the get-go at the beginning of the season, and they've already got a good half a dozen or more of them have been snapped up and taken, that they're now racing them. It's one of those ones that's interesting. You'll have to take a minute when you watch them because they're oddly quiet. As cars, they are oddly quiet. But it is Ford Focus, like touring car type things that you then get to watch. I would certainly say 15 to 18 of these things racing against each other, and it's like I'm looking forward to that. I got to be honest, having covered them a few times. Yeah.
So that should be good. And then the classic and retro, as Tom's labelled it now, because we weren't quite sure what we were going to call it. That is going to be Equipped GT. They're coming with 3 races, and that's something else that's building. They're looking at probably 2. Or maybe 3 42-car grids of pre-66 cars. So, and Tom and I met them recently, and they've got some really big ideas of, and seem to be really, really well organised as to what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, and they want to make a big weekend of it. Hopefully, we can, do the things that we want to do. A Saturday evening, something going on if we're allowed to. That would include the marshals, which Rich probably is just about to find out about. So we did it.
Well, fingers crossed. Like you say, that was the idea. We have a big party on a Saturday night. And,
we did something 2 years ago at a similar event when hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather's okay and we're all vaccinated and so on and so forth, and we can, really go to town. Probably, I don't know if that's going to be our first opportunity to really sort of do that sort of thing. You've got to be looking at the middle of the year in the summer before, that sort of thing could possibly happen, I believe. But fingers crossed on that one. And also on that weekend, we've got the Bark Classic Touring Cars. So it's going to be a really, really busy weekend because they've got now 5 different races. So it's quite a tight timetable. Might be one of the tightest of the year. But being the summer, and obviously it will be really gorgeous sunshine, so it's always helpful when it is. And there'll be, they're running 3 races on the Saturday and 5 races on the Sunday, and the Equipped GT are running 3 races on the Saturday, 3 races on the Sunday. So it's going to be a really, really busy weekend. And then moving on to August will be the annual double header day when all our championships and the hot hatch run twice. They should be joined by 750 MR2s, which always bring a big grid. And the first time for a long time would be the Welsh Racing Drivers Association. So they haven't been for a good few years, and they always bring a good grid. And I know some of our guys run with them and some of them run with our guys. So, that again should be a really busy day. Have I been drinking?
Yeah, Combe and sunshine in the same sentence.
It's January. I'm dry January, isn't it? So,
and by the way, get well soon, Mark Mitch. I know you've been in hospital with COVID. I know that's hit you very hard, and I think you've only just been released back into the wild. Was the general thing. So, well done for fighting through it, mate, and get well soon, buddy.
Yep, second that. And then, we move on to the finals day, which will be the home championships, obviously running at most of these events. Spark Minis are coming, as they usually do. Track Attack Racing Club. We'll probably try and run the Formula Ford Carnival again, because that was a great success last year. Started to build the numbers up. and also the GT Challenge, which hasn't had a great deal of success because it keeps, for one reason or another, not having big grids. And then we tried to run it last year, and obviously we couldn't because of timetables and stuff. But there is hopefully somebody joining that. I can't see too much at the moment because I haven't actually confirmed it. But there's a group of V8s that want to race sometime next year. And they could probably run in that as a separate class. So if we can get 15, 20 decent GTs and then we get some V8s in there as well, that's something I'm really looking forward to, but needs a bit of work. So I can't really say too much, unfortunately. But yeah, that's could turn out to be a really good end of the season bash before the Autumn Classic, which again is the problem with the Autumn Classic is it clashes with a lot of other classic stuff. So the Spa 6 hours and stuff. So it'll be slightly different to what we've had before, but there will be still some really good grids and some really good races. And again, some of those are yet to be confirmed, so I can't really say too much, but it will still be a really good day, I'm sure.
Yeah, and already Jed Dawes says, "Oh, V8 sounds awesome." I don't know whether that's Bernie's V8s or something like that, but certainly look forward to seeing some beasts come out.
Possibly say.
I'll have a chat with them when I'm doing the American Speed Fest in July, but because they tend to support that one. But that's good. I'm a bit concerned because the current Mrs. Dawes came up to take my glass away, but she's told me she's not bringing me any more after the vomiting to the pictures in the background. That's a bit wrong, isn't it? Look, she's even said it there. No more Ginuary.
Don't blame her. I don't blame her at all.
By the way, Beardy, I've only muted you because there's obviously I don't know whether it's on the TV in the background, but we've got reverb and feedback from you, so I keep muting you to get rid of the feedback.
Oh, I just thought it was your normal practice trying to keep me quiet. So no. I'm sat in your isolated room. Alexa's in the corner of the room, happy. Oh, she's awake now.
Oh no, just looking all up again.
But that's it. No, I'm total silence. So time for some more headset, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly. I thought, well, Mr. Weston had the floor. I muted it. Now, obviously, that's right. The cars, Steve. Tom, in terms of the bikes, I can't remember the dates that we're doing those. Can you?
Yeah. So it'd be 2 weeks after the 5th, so it's April the something, and then I think it's the 16th, 17th, is it? Something like that, maybe. And then
17th, 18th April, yeah.
And then the first weekend of September. So that's like the first, second, I think it is.
I will tell you now because I've got them all 4th and 5th. So
4th and 5th, yeah, it was the first weekend of September. Yeah, but these two then get involved.
No, exactly. Anyway, that's why I knew.
Steve appeared occasionally, haven't you, Steve? Helped us out on the bikes.
Yeah, a bunch of nutters.
Until Rob starts cracking his jokes, by the sounds of it.
Well, he was too busy commentating last year, wasn't he? So
yeah.
But it was far away as you can at Old Paddock, and it worked fine. Nobody saw him all weekend. It was great.
And fair play, because it was 11th hour. I know, because I got the sort of like the panic phone call in the morning from Emma and Martin going, "Can you come over and do this?" And I'm like, "I can't. I had family here." And of course, as we know, it wasn't very often that we got to do that last year. And I was like, "There's no way." And fair play, he stepped in and did something he's never done before, and apparently was a pretty dab hand at it as well.
It was very entertaining, I must admit. He's a very knowledgeable man. Doesn't look like it, but he's a very knowledgeable man.
And he's a commentator. There's a whole dad joke there that we could have done, but we won't. I know that we had, by the way, James Lutner having to say, "Happy New Year, gents. Do you know if spectators will be able to enjoy more of the circuit this year?" I'm going to bring it up because I know it tends to be the hottest subject. The answer is no, we don't know. It's January. We've got to let time pass. You know, if it was done now, the answer would be no, obviously, as you know. But let's just say we blooming well hope so.
Yeah, I think we're planning for the moment. I think the plan in the moment is that the possible, or I'd say the likelihood is, or the worst case scenario is that the paddock will be under Motorsport UK regulations, and one of their regulations will likely be that the two bundles aren't allowed to mix. So that might still be closed off, but the rest of it, we'd hope when we got towards the end of the year last year, people could get all the way around. From camp to quarry, they just couldn't get into the paddock and had to go back, back around anti-clockwise, if they wanted to go backbone. But that, to be honest, if that is the worst case scenario, then that's the best case, really, isn't it? Because I appreciate people like to get in and look at the cars, but would you rather be able to come and do something and watch racing and be involved, or not? So I think as we keep saying with everything, you know, if we're allowed to do something and run, you know, we will have spectators in some form, shape, or another. You know, there's a bit more contingency in the plans this year for certain things. Obviously, yeah, the COVID situation, we just don't know. We don't know what Boris's guidelines are going to be. We don't know what the local council's guidelines are going to be. We don't know what MSUK's guidelines or ACU's guidelines are going to be. So, you know, we are all planning, I'm sure, you know, same for Steve with entries. I was chatting to the, you know, the classic motorbike guys. Everyone is planning, you know, for the worst case scenario and hoping for the best. And that's all we can do at this stage. It's all we can do.
And yet the irony is there's also, you're planning for the best case scenario because you need to start, you know, assuming it's all going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, potentially fall back for that. So there is such a weird dichotomy, isn't it? Plan for the best, plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's a tap that can be switched on fairly easily. You know, we know that now. You know, if we're allowed to do certain things, or we can put certain things in place, and we can turn the tap on. So, you know, for instance, you know, the displays and things like that, you know, we can turn that on. Turning it off is a lot harder. You know, that's the problem. Is that we got caught last year because it was obviously new to us. You know, the timetables with the, you know, social distancing, the powder, everything. So it was all new to us, and obviously, you know, we didn't know how it was going to work or anything else. Now we kind of know, so it's easier for us to turn it all on or off. You know, but like I said, it was a steep learning curve for us all last year. But I think, you know, we'll just keep ploughing ahead. That's all you can do, isn't it? Keep ploughing ahead. Steve's got some fantastic content. There's a lot of classic stuff that people want to see. Retro stuff. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the classic touring cars. If anyone's seen, I don't know if you've commentated on them, Chris, but if anyone's gone and had a look at their website and looked at that, and when we met the Quip Classic guys, you know, they are easily 150 cars, they reckon. Very, very nice chaps. You know, actually involved in racing as well. Very down to earth. Lots of good rules and regulations they put in, self-regulating as well. So it'll be good driving, good clean driving, and a good atmosphere. So, you know, and they were really, really liked the idea as well that we said that could we have potentially a Marshall's party as well on the Saturday night, and they were absolutely, so they do their awards on the night. You know, they said more than ever, you know, they actually want to embrace that. So it's really good. So I think there's loads of positive stuff and lots of new people, hopefully, you know, for 2021 as well. So fingers crossed.
No, absolutely, and I agree. Sadly, I'm going to miss the classic touring cars and that because that's where I'm at Brands doing American Speed Fest. But I would.
Easy to kick Chris out or mute him. Can I mute Chris when he's not obviously?
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, sorry, mate. It's the only one I've done that for. But yeah, it's 30,000 people at Brands Hatch is quite a draw, I'm afraid. But but the classic touring cars I've covered them. They're amazing. The Keep GTS, I've covered them as part of the MG Car Club race meets, and it is massive grids and normally loads of reserves. Even when you throw them on Silverstone GP, when they can have loads on the grid, they'll still have reserves, and they are pristine, beautiful cars, and yet raced really, really hard. It is just incredible to watch. So that both of those will be hugely impressive. So I like that one.
Yeah, I think there's, you know, we've got some ideas on that as well, and then maybe we might try and get some clubs involved as well. I think that's another idea. Obviously, we've got a lot of our grids in that as well, so it'd be a nice mix of stuff for the retro as well. So, you know, there'll be a good mix of things with the hot hatches, and the hot hatches is looking huge again, isn't it? I mean, that's just growing and growing, and then obviously with the change, I think many people have noticed, but there's no age restriction on the saloons. Again, I'm sure Steve can touch on that a bit more.
Actually, yes, Steve, let's touch on that because I think that's massive. I will come to you in a minute, Richard, because I know we want to cover that. So apologies, mate. But Steve, that is a key point, is that really excites me. For anybody who doesn't know, just reiterate the key point on the saloons. Yeah,
so we've dropped the age limit. So I had a couple of phone calls actually back at the end of last year from people saying, I've got a car or I want to prepare a car, but it's just outside the age limit, you know, and you're stopping me running in the saloons just because the car's over the age limit. And they said that they knew several other people that were thinking of doing the same thing. So basically, we've dropped the age limit. So any saloon car that fits within the regs can run. And hopefully that will bring in some of the guys that used to run and have probably mothballed the cars and put them away. And it may well bring in some of the classic older stuff that doesn't necessarily sort of run anywhere else. You know, they can come and run with us. So, you know, it's as long as the car is well prepared and it isn't falling to bits. Yeah, we'd love to see people in a saloon car.
Well, I remember back in, you know, quite some years ago, is that Adam Preble was in the Preble Rover Tomcat. Yeah. And doing really well in it, and then suddenly the next year it wasn't allowed to go in, and it was frustrated because they'd got it absolutely set, it'd gone through the family, and it was a real beast of a piece of kit, and that was one of those ones that I'll be honest and say, even I think we were kind of gutted not to see that in it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, if it's still around, maybe it'll come back. Who knows?
Well, there's a lot of golf, as you know as well. I think there's a lot of, you know, sort of Mark II golfs running around, isn't there? And things. I know people,
there's a lot of cars that,
you know, loads of people,
and some of them are really, really well prepared. So, you know, there's no, just because it's, you know, an age thing, you know, I don't see it being a problem. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll bring quite a few more in. I think, you know, I think we said, Tom, that hopefully the under-16 thing will be relaxed as well. So people can bring families if we're allowed to bring, you know, any more than X amount of people. So we're looking forward to the saloons getting back to where it was, because there's no reason why it shouldn't. And then if we can get the addition of the older cars, then great.
Pete Spiller says, I was worried about age limit in saloons because I hope to have a go. We're talking about the cars, Pete. You're all right, mate. Yeah. You're safe. You're safe.
Yeah, we can't legislate for the drivers, I'm afraid.
I love that one. That is really good. Carsticombe Racing Club themselves have actually said, would it be possible to do a lunchtime show, perhaps get Swamp Thing and some drift guys involved? Tom?
It's no to Swamp Thing. That ticks over at about 130 dB. So I think we've been better off bringing back the GTs. I think from whatever it was. But yeah, that thing's just ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of drifters. I think permits and stuff. Well, actually, there is now a drift permit. Actually, there's a whole Motorsport UK drift series, so that might make it easier, because again, sometimes it's been a permit thing, hasn't it, Steve?
It's always a permit thing with Motorsport, unfortunately. Yeah, we could, you know, we can always ask the question, but because we're running the permit and it goes from midnight to midnight, anything that goes on the track has to be permitted. So if we're going to do it, we need to go through, you know, reams and reams of emails and paperwork, and just to do a demonstration. The Autumn Classic, as you know, the demos there, even the slow demos need to be permitted, unfortunately. So, but it's never say never.
No, there's plenty of drift people watching, and there's plenty of drift people, and it's always good.
That would be good.
It's just sometimes the mess afterwards for our other drivers. But you know, we have got the sweeper truck now. We've actually got our own very own sweeper lorry. So
really.
Yeah.
There last year.
It was there last year. Yeah, you can go and drive it, do a bit of moonlighting if you like, out on the highway.
That's about my speed, that, as everybody who's tried to take me out as a passenger in a car will testify to. I'll be hopping on for that. Question for you, Steve. Actually, I'll ask this question first of all. David Smitherin from Classic Sports Car Club. Compliment to how good the race meet was, you guys being back here, is that I know a lot of people are gutted that Classic Sports Car Club aren't back this year, but David Smitherin says, new specs, Mr. Weston?
No, just new eyes.
If Dave's watching, steal our ideas. You'll be writing it all down. The next thing you know, he'll be stealing our ideas.
There could be a spy in the camp. You never know.
Yeah. You never know, yeah. Lewis Bird says, are you allowed engine swaps like Hot Hatch in the saloons?
I don't believe so. I'd have to read the regs, even though I have just renewed the regs. But
You've read an awful lot of regs in fact.
It's the car ages, but it's the
same. Everything's the same apart from the car, the age of the cars. So I don't believe you can put. It has to be an original manufacturer's engine, I think. So yeah, I would say no. But if you read the regs and it fits, you can get away with it. I mean, sorry, you can get within the regs. Then, well, yeah, who am I to say no?
Love it. Yeah, plenty of people saying hope spectators are here. Chris Mason says once more vaccinations have been done, things will improve greatly, and that's absolutely. And that's starting to sound really encouraging. And I have to applaud. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than people may realise, and I know that because My wife's a physio. My sister works in a dental hospital in Bristol. They're both being trained to give the vaccines to people. So these things are all happening. They're being educated and certified to be able to do this. So there is so much going on behind the scenes to hit these targets. So listen, keep everything crossed. Try to feel a bit more enthused than you may do. It's difficult trying to read between the lines sometimes on everything that's going on. So I agree with Chris's comments there. It really will. Perfect idea for us to go over to Richard, because there's a comment here that Jed Doyle has said, and it'll lead us nicely onto everything else for you. Says, do you think Motorsport UK will recommence marshal licensing upgrades for this year?
Yeah, there's some. It's a shame what's happened. It's like demoralised some people. But yeah, there's a lot of positive talk about reinstating it. There are discussions ongoing. I'm very optimistic, so it would be nice. We've had a good influx of new people at Combe. And as trainees, you know, they want to get rid of the trainee badge and become a fully fledged marshal or official. So, yeah, really positive on that. Watch this space. There's arguably higher priorities at the moment to get the races underway, and then things like that we'll be doing. But there is definitely active discussion going on.
So that you know, anybody, myself a little bit included here, you know, what does that mean? So that I got the key point being, is they're trainees, but they have to do certain things before they.
Yeah, so once you register with Marshals with Motorsport UK, you then get different tasks to do, like number of events and certain events. So if you're out on the bank, for example, you have to do a day of flagging, a day of incident handling, and then so many other events. And then you have an assessment carried out on post during the whole day. And it's a lot of interaction with the post chief. Now, at a race meeting, if you try and have a conversation when you're socially distanced and possibly wearing a face mask, it's not the best way to assess an individual. So they stopped all the upgrade assessments happening. Oh. And as soon as they're reinstated, then we can carry on. Because you can see how well somebody's doing their job and trick questions, and you know, no race day is ever the same. There was always things that happen, and the way you see people react and how they deal with it, and then have a debrief with them later. So we can make it work, and I hope it will be soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's all being logged, isn't it, in your brains? Absolutely. You're seeing everything that's happening. And the best thing I can therefore say based on that is that stick with it, guys. I understand it's frustrating. It's no one's fault, but you're getting better. So there's more chance that everything's going to be okay.
That's made me feel a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah, well, as in they're getting better, not you, mate. Sorry. They're getting better. You're the king, mate. You're like Don Orange Army.
I represent a great team of people is the phrase I would use.
100%. I mean, you look and say, you know, and Tim Perry is a name that, you know, he's a great person involved in this, and he's stuck waiting to upgrade from trains to experience. Just be patient, guys. It will happen. You'll sail through it because you've had this extra experience. Yeah. You know, and as Paul says, it still depends on Motorsport UK regs. Absolutely. Chris Mason wants to know, have you recovered from rescue training?
Yeah. It was very informative. Never cut a car up before. It was great fun. So
love that one.
So I can actually say to him now, you know, what's taking you so long? You know, when I'm in race control and they're taking a long time, I can say, well, you know, when we did it at training day, it only took 15 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be a great advantage to me.
Oh, fair play. And Jed says, glad you're optimistic, Billy. That helps a lot. So thank you. I think that's made
Rich can know for his optimism. I mean, I'm going to miss.
Absolutely.
I'm going to miss a week. I'm going to miss a week of autosport with you. I can't believe this is the first one we've missed together, isn't it? We're not doing it.
Highlight to your calendar. I'm so glad.
Alexa, play romantic music.
You'd be surprised. We've been. I mean,
wow.
We're always muggins, aren't we? That end up driving up there, and normally the stand. We get there, and Rich's at one end of one of the halls, and I'm at the end of the other, and we're on the phone going, "Where is it?" And then we'll get there. And last year was great because every year, isn't it, Rich? We've done it together.
It's challenging.
The first year it wasn't built. And it wasn't built, and she kept saying, "Yeah, it's there," and we're going, "No, it's not there." And then last year they put 2 O's in Combe, which was just the icing on the cake, really. So
day 3, we had it sorted just as we pulled the banners down, the shutters down.
Yeah, it's always good because you always get to know you with the marshal because they start rebuilding things, and I think pushing cars always, you can always tell, or anyone who's been to Autosport helped out before. It's it's always good fun. You can tell the marshals because they're always the ones pushing the cars out of the hall. But no, it's a real sad shame because Autosport is a great event and we enjoy it, and we have had a laugh.
It's the starter pistol of the year for me. That
it is.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely. And there's faces, there's people like I said. Bob from the Minis. We always have a laugh and a joke with him. It's always but it is. There's lots of people we go and see, and it's become one of those things. And we have nice meals out, and I say nice meals out, but we go for a curry or whatever. And it's just nice to have a chat and a laugh. And Steve and I always go off and talk to varying people, and rattle some cages and see what's going on. And it's just such a shame. It's just a huge
and yet,
shame.
whenever I wander onto the stand, you're a right miserable get, Tom Davis.
Yeah, well, that depends who it is. It depends who it is. In fairness, we also have a bit of a system normally. If it looks like it could be some money, I'll talk to them. If it looks like it's going to be a marshal question, I hide and I point them at Rich. If it's a competitor from at Joe or Steve. So commentators, I don't know what category they go in.
And if it's someone you don't want to speak to, I hear that Richard gets stitched up with that, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I couldn't possibly.
Now we all do our fair share. But from a marshalling point of view, the amount of dialogue I have over the Christmas break, because everybody is sat there, got a bit more time on their hands, and they are just watching the click by, watching the calendars arrive. There's some frustrations going about because some calendars aren't out yet, or they came out and then they withdrew them. So all sport was just bang, it's starting now, and it's such a great catch up with everybody over the period. Just fabulous. But the season will be coming soon and we'll be underway. Fingers crossed.
And things like this, isn't it? We'll keep doing this. And I think that leads probably on to training day as well, which I know is another big thing because we've put loads and loads of effort into that.
Be mindful that we got the clap in 2 minutes, all right? So, at that point, I'm just going to play a couple of videos and let people have a couple of minutes to go and do that. So let's talk, but bear in mind I'm going to cut you off at some point, all right?
Yeah, no worries.
So
so I was just saying, because I think the training day is another big thing that, again, I've been involved with the last few years now, and it's become legendary, really. I think in the last probably 3 or 4 years where we've had to split it, and the last 2 years we've had to split it into 2 days, where we've brought in through new faces and old faces, and everything. And what do you think is likely to be going to be happening with that? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to know in the next few weeks.
Well, that's it. We're going virtual right now as things stand under the current conditions. It would be virtual. We can achieve a lot of things. There's an awful lot of talk behind the scenes. Should we manage to get a day together? Don't know, but we're planning for both. We're having a lot of training with Motorsport UK as well, so we will make the best of it using modern techniques.
Yeah, and I think the thing is to remember as well, like I said, is with anyone who's watching this who wants to get involved in marshalling as well, just because there isn't going to be a training day, and please don't feel that you can't get in touch and organise something, isn't it, with us?
Absolutely. Yeah, agreed.
Okay, right. I'm going to take us forward in there, guys, and I'm just going to put that along the bottom, and let's go and clap our heroes outside. We'll be back in a couple of minutes' time. So I said, you can kiss my asphalt. Oh, sorry, I'm back, am I? Sorry about that. Absolutely. Great to see that action. That was that's got me right in the spirit there. But congratulations to our all of our heroes. And I know that the nurses were the ones that made the point of saying they don't want it to just be a clap for them. And there is so many people. Thank you to absolutely everybody. Really, really special. But bit blooming chilly out there, says Gerald Howell. I agree, and foggy, isn't it, as well? Goodness me, I'm over here, Dad. Yeah, my daughter's just come in, still sort of like shivering. It was cold out there. She's a drama queen. She gets that from her wife, not me. Such a performer. Right, sorry, right. Where were we? So we were talking about the marshals that are sort of like starting to get involved, and I'm going to bring in this question. Actually, is that Baldrick Bryan says, "Is the marshal training day taking place this year?" And I know so that's an important point.
Yeah, we were a bit truncated there, so let's give it a bit of time. So yes, at the moment, it's looking like virtual is the only way forward. There's plenty of material, plenty of ways of delivering this. There's an element of practical training with any martial training, for example, fire extinguishers, first aid, etc. Virtual, you can talk, but it's still nice to be able to get together. So whether or not we can do something is too early to tell. We would like to do so. So what I would say to everybody, have a look at the Motorsport UK website. There is training material on there. Myself, Steve, the training team will be doing work behind the scenes. Actually, me and Steve were only talking about doing some rehearsing earlier. I hasten to add, it was Steve doing the work. I'd forgotten about that bit, but there you go. So yeah, we're like you say, planning for the best and hope. I'm planning for the worst and hoping for the best. I must get that right one day. Yeah, so it's too early to tell. The exact date that we had in mind for training day is subject to so many other things. Motorsport UK will influence, because, you know, let's be serious about it. Some of the training, people need to tick a box to move on to other things. If we can't provide that training, it holds them back. We don't want to demoralize people. We want to have the best trained people. I think we have. But we can always up the game a notch. With Steve starting to cut cars up, John Ford's going to get some extra help clearing up at the end of a session. So, yeah, so I was elsewhere on the day and I saw some of the training go on. It looked good fun. I would have been there if I hadn't been elsewhere, but I was keeping Pippa company up in Donington, so for our last race meeting away.
So there's another one that you've got to mute now, Tom, isn't it? Talking about, you know, doing something else.
No, just, we're on the naughty step with Facebook. sorry, I just it's just said something about our video. One of our videos has been reported
Really?
for having content that doesn't belong to us.
Oh,
I didn't say nice bumpers at any point during the.
Can I say? Yeah, I don't know. It says, it says NBCU Creative Content Protection blocks your video because it may contain content that they own.
Ooh.
Sounds official.
So yeah, sorry, that was just threw me a little bit then. So
Yeah.
Okay, that may well have been where I shared that YouTube video at the beginning, but oopsie. Hopefully, it will just be sort of block that one, but we'll see. I believe that everybody's still watching us live, so hopefully that's kind of going okay there. But
sorry, that's what just panicked me a minute. Sorry, apologies.
On the training side, just a heads up, there's Clarkson Stewards training is already happening on the 27th of this month, so things are already starting to be deployed. So we're ready. There's a new edition of the Blue Book, of course. So those people who like to read the Blue Book, I wish a few more people would sometimes. But there's been some significant changes this year, so I haven't fully slogged my way through it yet, but it's in hand. For marshals and for marshals in particular, the Blue Book is available online as well, and there's always useful info. There's a lot of info in there, not necessarily that fantastic for our race-only discipline, but lots of useful info. And sometimes you're stood on the bank, you may not have radio comms or necessarily be able to hear the tannoy, and you'll think, why have they done that? And there's normally a good reason behind it in the Blue Book. So not the most enlightening of reads, but fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
But it is important. I only have a glance at it. I have no reason to bury my head into it. But I know when I've happened to have walked through various there's incidents going on, or you guys are, I'll say, talking to drivers, and it is something. I mean, I think we probably could do a show on. To be honest, with because obviously you're a clerk, Rich, aren't you? And I think some people don't realise the importance of it. I think now I said I've seen people using it as a bit of a tool to bash people over the head with. Other people have used it constructively, and I think it's almost like a bit of a, I don't know what the word is, but shroud or something, isn't it? The people, I think like you said, there's a lot in there, but actually, if you're driving or you're involved as a marshal, you want to get involved in, like yourselves and Steve, getting involved more. It's well worth, but we probably could and should do a bit of a show on it, really, shouldn't we? Yeah.
The judicial process is very out in the open, well documented, well structured. It's all geared about fairness and equality. We don't want to penalise people. We just want to ensure safe racing. That's all we want to do. And the clerks, up until COVID, we were always accessible. People would pop in for a chat to clarify something. We are open, we are approachable. Under COVID, we might have to do it via phone, etc. But there's a way around this. It's a challenge from a clerk's point of view to apply the rules of the sport. And in the heat of the moment, the drivers think what they've done is right from where they were sat, but then you look at other video footage, etc. It's a difficult role. It's not a cushy one. It's not for everybody, but there's opportunities in the sport to progress up through the ranks and do different roles, and it will open people's eyes if we did publicise it a bit more.
And we're working on some stuff, Rich, aren't we, for making ourselves more accessible electronically on a race day?
Absolutely.
So by the time we get to next season, we've set up emails and WhatsApp groups amongst ourselves on a race day because for myself as a point of view, I was up in race control, and Richard and Ken and the other judicial clerks were in the upstairs of Strawford Centre. So we had groups that we were sending messages to each other, and we're hoping to extend that a bit so we can have more contact with the drivers on a race day. Instead of them having to come and see Joe or whatever, which obviously we're trying to avoid. So we're looking at ways of making ourselves more accessible on a race day electronically.
Yeah, people have the perception that we've got radios going and we can hear everything that's going on, but you've got to keep the radio airways clear for important information in a timely manner. So things like WhatsApp groups, arguably, we're possibly better informed as a team when we were split apart. We just used technology to improve things. It's been great. It's eye-opening, but it's given us appetite for developing it further.
Rich, are you able to answer that one? Mike Cotton says,
right.
What's the title of the blue book to look online out of interest? I'm a bit too old for real marshalling.
Yeah, so it's the Motorsport UK Yearbook 2021. The race edition is historically in blue, so there are other colour books available. There we are. We got a link there.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you can put that up, but there's a link there for the PDF for Mike or anyone else who's interested.
Okey-doke.
Put that up or not, I don't know. But Mike, if you just Google it, Motorsport UK Yearbook or Blue Book, and it will pop up, and you can just download it there.
So that's the rules for our racing at the circuit for virtually every event, car racing that we do. Be aware there's different rules for Formula One. I'm sure we've seen some of the weird decisions happened at Formula One, and also there's a different rule book for touring cars. So, for example, you don't necessarily have to use the black bit to drive round on in a touring car event. So, yeah, be careful. But it's a great resource, and it will explain some of those things. So, yeah, have a look by all means. Do not try and read it cover to cover.
I don't even try to read that link cover to cover, to be honest with you. But I have replied in the comments, and it's gone on every platform that you could be watching on. It's all in there, so click that if you need to. But in essence, that's what we're looking for. Thanks, Tom. Much appreciated. And Mike Cotton says thanks as well for that. I get the impression that it's looking good numbers for the race meets already, Richard, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've migrated to the new platform. It's hosted by ProSolve RevUp. So it's the same platform that historically club memberships initially, then it became the racing drivers, and now it's for marshals and officials volunteering because of electronic sign-on before the event. The relatively few that attended last year because of the restrictions were on there, but I was pestered in the last 2 or 3 months. It's a platform you have to be invited on because you can't have it cluttering up with all and sundry. And so we're up to, for argument's sake, we could almost run the race days with the numbers we've got available, but there's plenty of names coming back who didn't attend in 2020 for the likes of shielding reasons, etc. They're all pestering me to come back and confirming dates, also asking about training day, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of support. Just watching the video when we were outside, we want to get back. We want to see great racing, and what else is there great at Combe? Brilliant.
Agreed, totally. So keep it coming, guys. We need you. We love you, the Mighty Orange Army, and medical crews and rescue crews, maintenance crews. Can't wait to see you back again. And it is important, and it looks like it's going to be a cracking year. Jed Dawes, by the way, says it's a good platform, simple to use. So that's good. Good on that front. Tom, I'm going to switch to you for a second as well. Is that I know that the ARDS as well. People. I know that we've had to lose the first ARDS lesson, but there's sort of like an incentive for people to get their racing license now.
Yeah, so we did a Christmas deal where we sell the pack, the Go Motorsport pack. I think it's called something else now, but you need to fill in to do your ARDS. So it's a paper form, and you have to go and get an eye test, and it's a lot easier now. And that's £99, and we've been selling that directly through our website. And then we did a package where you could buy that and do your ARDS, test out the circuit for $399, and we then threw in a £50 voucher off your first. So if you rate your first race with for a new person, not someone who's existing, but to off any of the championships. So yeah, we had pretty much 14 people booked in for the 28th, I think it was, of this month, and that's now been moved to March. But I think it's a real shame because people are desperate. But I suppose the good thing is that there's nowhere else you can do it until things open back up. But the minute things open back up, you know, we're going to have a date in March. We're going to run a couple of dates in March. I think we're also looking at running ad hoc ones on track days as well, so that people can get in and do that. I think, you know, there's a lot of people who don't understand or necessarily know what the odds is or how to get involved with racing. So we're trying to do a bit more work around that. And it was really interesting before Christmas and over Christmas, people getting in contact saying that they'd heard from friends about the hot hatch mainly, and they really wanted to race in that. They had a suitable car that they had been tracking, and you know, they really wanted to get involved in that. So that was really good. So I think, you know, we will hopefully see a few new faces on the hot hatch grid this year. And I think that's a testament to the hot hatches, to what we do at Combe, the cost base of that, the simplicity of it. But also, you know, we are a great place to do your ride. You know, all our instructors have raced, you know, man and boy at Combe, most of them. And you know, they're great guys. And we're looking also at adding potentially in more tuition as well, so you'll be able to pay for more tuition, which will help your license, help your grading. So that's all on the, you know, just like I say, obviously the time at the moment, but it all helps hopefully people on their journey from track days through you know, through into racing and then moving on.
And even some of those that maybe have already started on that journey, you know, we're trying to cater for everybody. And it's like I mentioned earlier about that we're going to get Russell Pointer Brown on and Formula One links, and that we're looking about potentially being able to offer a more holistic approach for everybody that could involve fitness, it could involve nutrition, it could involve psychological elements, all, you know, assistance in being able to get out there commercially and try to get you know, more sponsorship and things like that, instead of it just being begging bowl, can you fund me to go and have fun? And it's like, right, let's provide these kind of things for the drivers that are coming through that helps either those that are sort of like career minded, trying to make a career of it, or even those that are just really after getting themselves in the best position to be able to win trophies. So there's going to be an awful lot more that we're looking at putting in front of people, whether it's as simple as on some of these shows to give sort of like little tidbits of information, or whether it's that actually providing access to the services from these people. So keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be an awful lot more coming from those that haven't started yet to those that are already involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was looking at, I'm starting to do the old track days nowadays, and I looked at how to get a quicker lap time, and it was tuition. So invest in some time with a quality driving instructor. It'll pay off literally on the results.
Yeah, and I mean that's an hard instructor, not Miss Miggins down the road who can put you through in the Nissan Micra. That's not.
Yeah, but we did have fun on the day.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
One of the, you know, just without it won't steal the thunder of the things that we're going to cover, but one of the you know, this is people that work with the likes of Lewis Hamilton and various other people at their top echelon, and then this, you know, one of the little tidbits that I adore is about working on those 1%, the 1% of everything, whether it's the 1% better with your fitness, 1% better with your nutrition, 1% better with your psychological approach, and you suddenly line up all these 1% improvements in everything, and the impact that you will get on circuit is quite considerable. Now, even if you think you are fine and you are on top of it and you are a brick outhouse or whatever it is, it's like, don't forget, it's all about just 1% and all of those things, even above what you are already doing. The results could be quite significant. So we're just trying to look at that, of being able to provide more things to more people to, you know, make it, you know, more success, more fun, you know, all of those kind of things. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to bring up a couple of points. First of all, just going to say this one. Andy Abrams, good to hear from you, mate. Happy New Year to you all. Looking forward to May 3rd when we're back with BMW Car Club. Matt Parr says, when is Hot Hatch able to be a championship? Now, this keeps getting batted backwards and forwards, and we're not sure on the definitive answer, really, are we, Steve?
At the moment, it's why would you change it? Because people are dipping in and out. It's full grids. We're oversubscribed with numbers. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, to become a championship, you then start going through more Motorsport UK hoops, basically. You know, and for us, it means more problems, I would suggest. And if people are turning up and enjoying it, then I see no reason to change. I know it's nice to say they've won a championship, but the way we run it, there's not a great deal of difference. Obviously we don't have awards and stuff for a series because it's a series and not a championship. But hopefully Mr. Smitheren's moved on, but then he's exactly the same.
I was
sorry,
going to say,
David.
some very successful clubs just run series. So,
and I know, Tom, you're a massive advocate of the series compared to championship in your mind, aren't you?
Yeah, I think like Steve said, and at the end of the day, we've had consistent, even during COVID last year, we had huge return. And I think the other thing is there was guys and girls, but guys coming straight from track days. I can't remember the lad's name, but he absolutely. I mean, just there you go. That's exactly to me. When people say about getting into motorsport and all this kind of stuff, I've been talking to a few other people today about track days and the realms of motorsport and more about sprints and hill climbs. And I think this is where we're at with Combe. Why put something into a championship? We've got great championships, and I don't get me wrong, it costs a bit more than anything else. But at the moment, I think we've got a fantastic stepping stone for people. It works really well, and everyone can be involved. People dip in and dip out. I think there is scope, and we have talked about this, and not at the moment because of the current climate. But there is scope to add something else into the Combe mix potentially, and we've talked about this. Either another championship, or that became a championship, we have another series in, and there is lots of scope and things that we could do. But at the moment, unless that starts taking a bit of a tumble. But when I've got people, like I said, I probably had 5 people, before Christmas that were all wanting to do their rides and all with the purpose of entering the hot hatch. So it's. That's why at the moment. That's why.
And I think that is exactly it. It's very successful. So why would we change it when, as a series, it's very, very successful? I personally, I don't see a major benefit to making it a championship. We run 3 championships, and the numbers in those championships are not as high as they are in the series. So, I just don't see the. If somebody could come up to be bombarded with messages now, if somebody could suggest why, we would absolutely want to make it a championship. I know there are reasons, and some of those reasons are valid. But at the moment, for us as a club, I see no reason to change. It's very successful, and the feedback we get is fantastic. So if you could dip into that for a lot less money than you can for any of the other championships, then why change it? I just don't see the reason to change it.
If you take a look at, we mentioned when MSV are coming, they're bringing the MSVT Track Day Trophy and a Track Day Championship. There's a prime example. They had the Track Day Trophy was the first thing, so the equivalent to, if you like, to some extent, of the Hot Hatch series, i.e. the Track Day people. It's not hot hatches, but it's the similar sort of concept. They haven't abandoned the trophy element. They've created an additional championship. What they've actually done is they've now got the Superguard or whatever it's called championship, which is then even more powerful and there'll always be full grids on all of those. So there's something there. I think that if Tom was almost touching on there, is that there's probably more chance of adding something rather than changing that.
I mean, if we keep being oversubscribed in the hot hatch, there's got to be scope for not necessarily splitting it in half, but having 2 really well supported grids of some form of hot hatch. What we don't want to do is dilute it. We can't afford to keep running championships and/or series with low numbers. It's just not sustainable. So we need to do things to bring more people in. We need to make sure this season that the Formula Ford continues to get back to where it was, which it did to a degree last year. And the saloons, we need to get back to where it was as well, because that was running full grids. And if we could get all of those things, plus the GTs, like I said, if we can get the GTs with other people running within it, if we could have 2 or 4 championships or series, whatever, with full grids all the time, then we can actually we could run more. But at the moment, financially, we're the people coming in with the full grids are sort of subsidising some of our championship races because we're not getting full grids, and we still need to cover the track time because as a club we hired a circuit from Castle Combe. So you know,
and it always ebbs
need
and
to
flows
cover that.
anyway, doesn't it? You know,
Yes,
it,
exactly.
that's the
Yeah,
nature of the
absolutely.
beast.
Yeah. You know,
Matt Parr said, thank you for the information on that, obviously with his original question. And he said saloons may turn into turbo tin tops. Not sure about that. And therefore lower the grid size, especially with the age thing. I don't think changes that, but it would help the series have a higher profile. Look, we're constantly watching, constantly enjoying it. Everybody's there, especially when you've got another message from Wilder Claudio saying he's telling his 106 to buy a Mark 1 Escort for the saloons.
There you go. Who doesn't want to see a load of Mark 1 Escorts?
Exactly. I wouldn't complain about that. And Chris Mason's even better idea: medical vehicle race. Absolutely, that would be awesome. And Jordan Kerno says, would love to see more double headers in Hot Hatch, more cost effective for us racers. And, you know, one of those things that gets thought about in the future is that you have a double header and one's a series, one's a championship. You know, there's all sorts of things that happen. One's on one day, one's on the other. You'll get a big chunk that will do both. You'll have some that will just do one or the other, you know, and that's the kind of things that we look at the moment, though. It's not the time to change things, and it's oversubscribed anyway. So,
yeah, I think, you know, it's still new, isn't it? And it's you know, if it continues to be as well supported as it is, then we will probably continue as it is. And that if that leads to, you know, if we constantly get 10 reserves, then, you know, that if we could make that 15 reserves, then that's another race in itself. But unfortunately, we need to be conscious that track time costs money. You know, the August double headers, when we run everything twice, is not everybody's cup of tea. You know, people want to come and see lots of different races at Castle Combe. So if you put the same thing on all the time, they won't come. You know, so it's a fine balance between keeping our home championships and series happy and getting people in to see things.
Yeah, like, I think, you know, I said, you know, and Dave Smithern from Classic Sports Car Club was there, and like Chris just mentioned, you know, the guys at MSV as well. And I think, you know, there is absolutely no issue in us saying we look at other people's championships or other people's series and things, and if there's something a gap in the market, we just haven't had, unfortunately, the club is not profit making. That's the whole point. You know, it has to reinvest the money. It's, you know, it's got to pay some wages, but it's not, you know, it's not a big business. It can't afford to take huge risks and losses, as we know from from last year, and that's from the whole thing. It wasn't run the way that it was. You know, there's other championships and series and clubs out there that are in a lot worse position than us, isn't there? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously the end of the year finances haven't been completely sorted yet. There's a few things to sort, but we are going to take a massive hit on 2020. You know, a massive hit. And if we have another year this year the same, we are going to be in dire straits. And I mean, hopefully it's all looking good. You know, we've got to go into it with a positive. We're going to run all those race meetings and fill them with people, and, you know, spectators are going to be back and full marshal teams and so on and so forth. We can only hope for all that. But at the end of the day, we need to cover our costs. And 2020 has cost us a massive amount of money. When the accounts come out, people will see that. I mean, the figures at the moment, we're not, you know, we don't want to start banding figures around, but we could probably, if we had say another 2 years, we would be wiped out. If we had the same losses 2021, and if it goes on much longer, 2022, we would be, the club would not exist. You know, it's as simple as that. So we need to be very careful this year on what we're spending money on. Hence, you know, the office being closed. For 2 months, it's not a massive amount of money. I mean, I know we paid Joe far too much, but you know, she's hopefully not watching. But you know, it's not a massive amount of money.
And we know you don't mean that as well, Steve.
He's worth every penny. But you know, it's not a massive amount of money, but it's going to save us spending money that we don't need to spend. And you know, it's not going to be great because people will have queries and things need to be sorted out, but it will get sorted out before the first race day. And if it means we have to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard in March, then so be it. It's the way it's got to be at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. Is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if we have a hopefully a reasonable year this year, and then into 2022, you know, I've said this, and we've all talked about this. Chris, I think we mentioned it to you. You know, there's ideas and things that we've said about, you know, maybe having Castle Combe's own junior series. So, you know, one venue, you know, one venue, one either series or championship, but for juniors, because we could do that. And they could come and they could learn, they could cut their teeth at the end of the day at Combe. But you have to realise that the grids maybe wouldn't be huge. Someone's got to carry that cost. And as much as we'd love to be able to carry that cost and for the right reasons to bring young people through, unfortunately, you know, we are financially not able to do that at this current time. But, you know, I think that's something that's quite close to a lot of us. And it's things like that, you know, we've talked about to say, yeah, or like Chris said, you know, why not just say copy the format of what MSV do and, you know, get some more of those track day guys in and things and what have you. But, you know, there's lots and lots of things, but unfortunately, you know, it's all about risk and the businesses cannot afford to take that risk. So I think at the moment, you know, with all of it, we just need to get the grids back up. We need the support, we need to get the grids back up, and we need, hopefully, fingers crossed, a decent year. Yeah, you go to, yeah.
Emma Mason, can I sign Josh up now? That would be lovely. Yeah, it was a good few years before he'll be able to, but a good idea. No, I mean, there's plenty of scope. And listen, if anything, I hope everybody's taking great comfort from the fact that, you know, we are making sure that what we have now is going to work as best as we possibly can. And at the same time, whilst we might not be able to do things, we are constantly talking about, we are constantly looking into, you know, thinking about whatever can happen to sort of take things even more, whether that's from a competitor standpoint, whether it's from the, you know, all of the people that help out to make a race meet happen and everybody that comes to watch. You know, it's all about trying to bring it all together. And even with our limitations, is that I've got to say is that fingers crossed it's all going to, you know, come to fruition and the dates that are there are going to happen, because it looks like a damn good year ahead of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we haven't had before. You know, part of the sort of reason for MSV come in is they haven't been to Castle Combe for several years. And people don't want to come and see the same thing. They love our championships, which is the same thing every time, but they like to see other things as well. And hopefully the balance is there with all the different stuff that we're going to get over the year. You know, people don't necessarily come to every race meeting, but they should have something during the year they would want to come and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you got like Roy Salisbury. Roy, I come across regularly around the country. Lovely guy. Says, hi, also, I'm trying again to get to Castle Combe this year, mid-June, at the MSVR meeting, up in race control, presumably.
We don't want him up there. We don't want him. Definitely not.
Tried last year, failed because of COVID. Yeah, because of course, the reason I put that up there is that MSV were due to be with us last year, weren't they? So fingers crossed is that it'll all happen, and that'll include Roy coming as well. So look forward to it. Well, I think that sort of brings us to a natural conclusion. Steve Weston, anything else you want to add?
No, like I say, stay positive. That's all we can do. It looks great on paper. If it all comes to fruition, then great. Get some spectators back in, big grids, plenty of sunshine, happy days.
Absolutely. Beardy, what about yourself, my friend?
Yeah, now it's looking like a fabulous calendar, real good mix of vehicles. Just a note for the marshals and officials that their grading cards that expire, printed expiry date end of 2020, are being rolled forward into the end of 2021. I'm getting the odd query. No, you're still licensed, and it'll be business as usual at the end of the year, so don't worry.
Well, and interestingly as well, Baldrick Bryan puts the question in, will we be informed when the training is going on? Also, a friend wants to join as well.
Yeah, I'd like to think I keep people in the loop. I'll be doing regular info even before we get racing again. So I'll keep everybody informed, rest assured. And with wonderful Combe TV, I'm sure you could mention it for us.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, once you get a date up, we can put it up.
Perfect.
On Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And what about, I know that, for example, there was people that wanted to start getting involved last year and you weren't able to take on newbies. Is that still up in the air for this year?
One of the positive comments I heard was specifically aimed at tasters, trying to get taster days going in some form again. So, yeah, it's on the agenda. It's being discussed. We'll work within the rules to try and make it happen sooner rather than later.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Beard, sir. Tom, anything from you?
No, I think, like I said, I think the only thing is that Rich said, we will do everything we can. We want to get the marshals that, marshal on our track days in the week and action days. so please, if you've done that for us last year, obviously appreciate the moment Maria's furloughed, but dates will be out there for you. We always need the support on track days in the week, and I think people who've done the action days. It's a really good fun now. A good crowd of people that marshal, and they're always a good laugh. So please bear that in mind as well with dates. And if you've got any questions with that, then I'm sure Rich myself or I can help. But no, that's it really. Everyone else just needs to sort of stay safe, look after yourselves, keep in touch. I think as we're all, I'm sure Steve and Rich heard earlier, we're all available. Please don't suffer in silence.
Richard.
Yeah, one final thing. We've retired some of the coordinators, or Maggie has stood down. So we're looking for new coordinators for the Formula Fords and hot hatches this season. If anybody's interested in running for it, it would be great if they want to get in touch with us. So it's a rewarding role. We've seen some great coordinators over the years, thanks to those who have retired. But yeah, let us know if anybody's interested.
What do they need to do if somebody's interested, or at least wants to find out a bit more?
Yeah, by all means, contact me or Steve, or email in. So to Joe, we'll just forward the email to somebody to discuss it further. So yeah, rest assured, anybody wants to do it, it'd be great help.
Very quickly, just want to explain, because some people might not know what that role is, and we haven't got time to sort of go into that depth now. Just in a nutshell.
The race day role of the coordinator is really an interface between those competitors and the whole event around them. So they'll help those new. So, for example, somebody's got a problem. Chances are somebody else in the paddock has had that problem before. So they'll just coordinate people, keep people informed, chivvy them along on a race day to get them prepared and ready, a helping hand. But it's this bonding like a strong team of friends together. Matt Cole does a great job. Louis, such familiar faces, a fount of knowledge. And they just make very successful series or championships. So a very rewarding role.
And that includes for me in the commentary box as well. Is that there's quite a few that feed information to us guys up in the box to sort of be a mouthpiece, and that's really helpful as well.
Yeah. And sometimes in the race there's some important decisions to be made, and we try and involve the coordinator as well. For example, shuffling around the timetable because the weather's changed. We try and do that all via the coordinator. We can't have every driver up to discuss things, but the coordinators represent them. So they get, their input, help us make a better decision on the event. So, anybody interested, let us know.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. Okay, I think that brings us to a nice conclusion. What I'm going to do to play us out, stay watching it actually, is that anybody who's looking at getting involved, we mentioned about the ARDS license. I'm going to play a video that just gives you an idea of what we do. But thank you everybody for the comments that have been coming in throughout, the comments at the end here as well. I hope that you have enjoyed firing the show back up again. It's great to be back with you. Thank you so much to Steve Weston and Richard Beard for coming on as well. It's great to be back. I know it's not the reasons that we were hoping for, that we've deliberately fired this one, but we were always going to get it going again, and we'll come back again to update people with anything we get. You agree with that, gents?
Yeah,
I was going to say, this time of year we're preparing for an exciting season. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. We're still looking towards the best. We're not interested in the best, the worst, and we even get kisses from Will de Claudio to pay us out with that one from myself. So from Dawesy Davis, Steve Weston, Richard Beard, I'm going to leave you with the ARDS video, and we're going to see you all again. Keep your eyes peeled for the second episode this year, episode 40. What a nice round number of Combe TV. From all of us, good evening.
Thanks all. Bye.
Becoming a racing driver has never been easier with Castle Combe Circuit. Book your ARDS novice drivers training course at the Wiltshire venue today. The easiest and quickest way into competitive on-track action.
Welcome to Castle Combe. My name's Alan Cooper. I'm the Chief Driving Racing Instructor here at this circuit. We're here today to do the novice driver training course, often known as the ARDS course, which is the first way to start off and get your racing driving licence. So, no further ado, let's get on and show you what's involved.
So you've seen the format. Everyone here today passed their tests and now have their racing licence. Who knows? The next time I see them could be as I commentate on them in front of the usual packed house of racing fans here at Castle Combe Circuit. All you need to do to be next is to visit castlecombecircuit.co.uk and select Become a Racing Driver under the Racing tab. Becoming a racing driver is easier than you think with Castle Combe Circuit and Motorsport UK.